The world runs on trust. Everybody loves to say it. I don't trust nobody. And maybe, on some level, we all understand why. But what if trust is one of the most overlooked forces in human existence? Think about it. Every day, we trust people we've never met. We trust the driver in the opposite lane not to cross into ours. We trust that the food placed in front of us won't make us sick. We trust that the pilot flying 30,000 feet in the air knows what they're doing, and that everything required to keep that plane in the sky was done right long before we ever stepped on board. And most of the time, we don't even think about it. Not because trust is small, but because life itself quietly depends on it. What if trust isn't simply something that exists between people, but one of the invisible threads holding society together? Let me share a story that might help paint the picture. Ethan thought trust was optional, something you gave to people if they earned it, something you withheld if you wanted to protect yourself. Over the years, he became very careful about who he trusted. What he didn't realize was that trust had already become part of his life long before he ever made that decision. He just couldn't see it yet. Then one night, driving home after work, something happened that changed the way he looked at it forever. It was late. Ethan was tired. The kind of tired where you're not really thinking about anything except getting home. Traffic was moving fast. The expressway was flowing at around 70 to 75 miles per hour. Everyone was moving with the rhythm of traffic. Then, little by little, the cars ahead started slowing down. The brake lights in front of Ethan suddenly lit up. Without thinking, he eased onto his brakes and slowed with the flow of traffic. Then he glanced into the lane beside him. The driver next to him was still moving at full speed. The brake lights ahead of Ethan told him to slow down, but in the other lane, traffic was still moving. No brake lights. No visible warning. Nothing suggesting danger was only a few seconds away. And then, it happened. The car slammed into the vehicle in front of it. The sound echoed across the highway. Metal crumpled. Glass shattered. Almost immediately, another vehicle crashed into the wreckage. The driver behind them had never seen brake lights either. By the time they realized what was happening, it was already too late. Within seconds, what had been normal traffic turned into chaos. Ethan gripped the steering wheel and watched it unfold just a few feet away. Everything had happened so fast. One moment, everyone was driving home. The next moment, multiple vehicles were crushed together on the side of the road. Then it was over. The last impact echoed across the highway. The movement stopped, and for a moment, everything felt strangely quiet. Ethan sat behind the wheel staring at the wreckage, thinking. The car in front of him had hit its brakes. He saw the warning. The driver beside him never did. And somehow, that small difference had changed everything. For the first time, Ethan began to wonder if trust was something much bigger than relationships. Trust is strange. Most of the time, we only notice it when it's broken. But trust may be one of the few things holding human life together. Because the moment trust begins to disappear, everything else begins to weaken with it. Maybe that's why trust is so easy to overlook, because it's usually invisible when it's working. Like air, you rarely think about it while you're breathing. But the moment it's gone, nothing else matters. What's interesting is that some of the things we trust the most are things we don't even realize we're trusting. Just like the invisible trust Ethan placed in the driver in front of him long before he ever realized it. The same invisible trust shows up in other places too. The air we breathe, the higher power people pray to. Yet when it comes to the things we can see, we often expect them to be just as perfect. And maybe that's where disappointment begins. Because the more we see, the more flaws we find, the more mistakes we notice, and the more reasons we discover to doubt. Yet some of the things we trust most are the things we can't see at all. Maybe that's why trust was never about perfection. Maybe it's always been about believing in something beyond what your eyes can immediately find wrong. Some of the most important things in life aren't the things we see. They're the things we've been depending on all along, without ever realizing it. This is the quote room, where words wake minds. Some things don't need a reaction, just reflection. Just a few thoughts I had on my mind.